Monday morning and we're on a different job today. A few weeks ago I turned up at a new extension and set out a load of blues. This is that job. Since then my mate got a different bricklayer in to wham up all of this block work, and then on Thursday and Friday Charlie and I turned up to start putting all of these massive steels in. We've already got our prop pals in. What these do, these support the brickwork from both sides. So we have a prop here, the needle or the prop pal goes through the 9-inch wall and is then supported once again from the inside. You can see that we have done that all the way, and they do work a right treat. 900 centres, that's what we set those needles at. We've got the steel up into position, and right now we're going to start taking out the two skins off brickwork. We can't do it from the inside because we have a joist timber right in our way. So right now we're going to crack on, get all this out and then get the steel in. So as you saw from that time lapse, we have taken out the 9-inch wall where this steel is going to be in place. Now we're using prop pals rather than strong boys. So strong boys, come on in here, Drew. So a strong boy goes under your acro and supports only one skin off brickwork, which is somewhat of a problem sometimes, especially when you're dealing with a 9-inch wall like we are. A prop pal or a needle, as they're called, support both the internal skin and the external skin. So we have got the entire house now propped using these and the needles. Now, acros are rated for about, what are they rated for? What acros rated for? About 500 kilos?
Yeah, I think it's 500 and then the red ones are 750.
Sound. So these are rated for about 500 kilos. These bigger ones are rated for 750. And then the prop pals themselves, the blue needles we're using, are rated for a ton, 1 ton and 50 kilos. So we've got the entire house supported, and in a little while after our cup of tea, we're going to throw the steel in. Sound. Yeah, push 3, 2, 1 gently. Oh, perfect. Easy peasy. Yeah, don't struggle, mate, don't struggle. That's why I've got the WD-40. No, you don't need the brakes on. Don't worry about it. So a little bit of WD-40 just helps this slide.
Yeah, that's stayed put.
Good, isn't it? I tell you what, let me have a look at the holes. Hey. They're bang on. They're bang on. I love it when a job comes together.
Right.
It's on.
No, there's bricks in the way.
Which ones?
The brick here.
You got your pry bar in place just so it's, don't move.
Yeah, I've got it here. Now,
Do you want a little video of this? Yes, morning. We are back on our extension today. We've had quite a busy morning doing all of this. Right now we're putting in this insulation. This insulation goes under the floor slab. So we've got 225mm worth of insulation. We put this into the cavity. Now 225mm below this insulation we have concreted, so below it's nice and solid. And now we're just putting in this insulation to do this, or we're doing this, should I say, to make sure that there is no cold spot in the floor, because we've already got insulation below the concrete slab, so we're going to continue that in the cavity. So just an update before we start blasting on all this block work and throwing it up to 2100. I didn't do much filming last week, however, I had Charlie with me last week. Look at that body. Look at that body. Just missed out on Winter Love Island, mate. Those who remember the start of the mansion build, I had Charlie working with me while Drew was trying to join the Marines. Look at that body. Look at that body. You've just missed out on Love Island, mate. As you can see, we threw up a lot of the block work, all to almost to 100. So it's looking really, really decent. Today, we are going to be blasting the block work. And then this week, we're going to be getting all of the brickwork to lintel height. And then we're going to be doing some arches. Oh, yeah, boy. Should we go get a cob? Yeah, boy. What, sausage cob?
Yeah.
Bacon cob?
Stuffing and apple sauce maybe.
Is it banking?
Banking.
Right, let's go get a cob. Yes. Re-energised. We're re-energised from our break, aren't we, Drew?
Yeah, man.
And we're going to throw this block work up. I've got Drew on the trowel. He's going to be blasted in this small panel here while I do this annoying little pillar. So we're going to crack on. Oh, look at him go. Look at him go. What a man. Look at him. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. It's finally stopped raining because it's been like raining all day, hasn't it, Drew?
It has.
It's been horrible. But we chose as life. Now, a few weeks ago, you heard me mention the gauging stick. I explained how each one of these marks works ties, works blocks, and works insulation. Now, this is actually coming really well here, as you can see. I'm just going to pan into the cavity. You can see how each mark represents a tie, each mark represents a block, and you can see by doing this and using the gauging rod and doing our brickwork first and using it to make sure we can see exactly where our ties are going, the ties have ended up working. Now they are at a slight angle, aiming up. Some work absolutely perfect, some are aiming slightly upwards. Can't really help this. And as long as they're facing slightly up, the water will drip towards the brickwork, which is good. We don't actually want the ties ever leaning back, because if there's any water to land on the tie, moisture could come over these and then into your block work. Not that often happens, and that's why we have these little drips. These are for water, and then when the water hits there, they allow water to drip off. So that's why we have them. But yeah, ideally ties level or slightly facing up, especially when we're using these big bricks. Yeah, I've started taking this hair thickener thing because my hair is like going there and there. Right. And my barber's like, mate, you need to start looking after your hair. You need to wear a hairnet for work.
Shut up.
I was like, mate, I make YouTube videos for bricklaying. Like, I'm not going to start wearing a hairnet.
You've got to rock up with the do-rag now.
But the Turkish barbers, man, they know what they're on about. They know what they're on about. I mean, I get slated enough from a brickwork. Could you imagine? Little hairnet. .8 and we're back on the job. Yesterday, God, I was absolutely done, wet through all day. And then if any bricklayer knows what it's like to smash your thumb on a concrete block, God, I was absolutely sick of it yesterday. Anyway, back on the job, we move. I'm currently loading out while Drew is throwing on the first mix, so we're always utilising our time. Put a smear of compo on so people don't yell at me. Right, we have sent the back up to lintel height, so we have all of our openings. We've got two 1500s and a 1200 here. I always say this, any opening you have when you stick a lintel on, your lintel wants to be 300 mil more. So we've got a 1500 here. This means we have a 1800 lintel that allows for 150 mil bearing. I'm just going to roughly put these on just for YouTube purposes. So there we go. We sat that on. Then we find a tape measure and we'll measure the bearing. Where's the tape? He's got the tape. So there's 140, and this side we have 160. So let's let this in over here. 145, not 5 mil. Perfect. So that's that, and then all we do now, we just make sure that we have a small setback. So here you can see we've got roughly 5 millimeters. This side we've got 10, so all we do, we just tweak it so they're exactly the same. This is just an example. I'll actually put a line from this point to that point over there in a little while, and when I sit them all on, I'll measure from the back to the line just to make sure that they all run through really nice. Anyway, on that note, we're going to blast this brickwork in, and I tell you what, I've just spotted an issue. You see how these bricks here, Drew? Oh, this is going to be well annoying. See how these bricks here are 115? Yeah, so 1015, sorry. I'm going to have to pistol all of my bricks. So, because this back plate is going to be right in the way. That's an issue I'm going to have to overcome later on. But for now, I hate the struggle. For now, we're going to blast in this brickwork. Something I prepared earlier. Let's cover up. Oh, die. You want? I'm sick of it. The weather has turned on us once again, so we're going to go get some food while everything's covered up, and then if it continues raining, we'll just have to load out and get set up for tomorrow. But this weather, it's shocking, ain't it, Drew?
Yeah, just a bit.
I love how you're still wearing a t-shirt though.
Yeah, I guess it's on the motorbike later.
Yeah, imagine having a motorbike in this weather. What a clan. 720. It's got to be one of the most embarrassing things ever. I've gone to the merchants to go get some timber because we're going to be doing some arches. Obviously the timber don't fit in the van, does it? So I'm out here cutting it with a handsaw. Well, it's finally stopped raining at about 4:15. So yeah, another day trying hard and battling the rain. All my mates, every bricklayer I know is currently off work, but myself and Drew and I are still trying to crack on. Oh, we're still trying even though the weather's terrible.
Yeah, man.
Always giving it a go and never getting very far. Right, we'll catch you in the morning. Oh, coming close. Get that bubble out. It's a bit hard.
to list on Amazon then.
Hi, my name's Isaac, IzzyTheBricky, and you catch me on Amazon. Back on the job. Today we threw up the brickwork on the front and was able to sit on the rest of the lintels. I also had quite an important meeting with the structural engineer to discuss quite a few things with all of the steels and what's cracking off there. So there's some things to sort out, but that is now in the structural engineer's hands, so we'll just be whacking the steels in as and when. Right, so to stay in keep with this existing building, we are going to be putting on arches over our openings, apart from the really big ones. You can see how we've got an arch there, an arch there. There are arches all around this building and all over this street. Even if you look behind me, Drew, you can see arches over there. So everywhere there are arches. So this is something I suggested just to make sure that everything is staying in keep. Now, to do an arch, I've built a few arches before, but I've actually never built the arch profile. Now, there's a few ways to do it. There's some really mathematic and perfect ways to do it. However, we're going to be doing it my way. So follow me. So the timber we're going to be using for the arch is treated wall plate. Now, I've used wall plate multiple times for arches. What we do, we set this back and then we clad over it. Now, I am going to treat this once again. However, people are going to say, well, wall plate rots. Bear in mind that an arch is self-supporting. So in 10, 15, 30, 40 years, if this rots, in hindsight, what's it matter? An arch is self-supporting. This is only going to be cladded over. Now, to make the profile, what we are doing is we are laying our timber, which is cut to the opening size. Now, our opening, in this case, is 1210 mil. Okay, so I've already cut my wall plate to the size. What we need to do is we need to create this arch. Okay, so to do that, all I've done, I've put it on this timber below. All I'm doing here, I'm just giving myself 15 mil. So there's 15 mil, okay, and I've got 15 mil on this side. I'm just gonna give this a little mark so we can figure out exactly where this wall plate is going to be. So a little pencil mark there. I'm also doing a little pencil mark there. One this side, one that side. Now we need to dissect this. So if it's 1210 mil, that's 605. So all I need to do, split it in half, 605 mil, and then I just put that mark on my template. Now, remove that, we can see all of our key components of our wall plate. Okay, this line here is 15 mil. I've just made sure that that is the bottom of my wall plate. There we go, so don't worry about that too much. Now, the profile itself, you can use thin bits of wood, or I've just got some lats. So to create the angle, or our template to allow us to create the angle, all I'm going to do is throw some screws exactly where my template or the wall plate currently is. Okay, so the height of the template we're going to be using, or the rise of the arch, is going to be 70 mil, because that's the height of our wall plate. So I'm just throwing screws in everywhere where is important. Now, I've done that to create the angle, or to help us create the, basically the angle to allow us to create the arch. We connect the 0 of the arch, because this is actually going to nothing. So we put our straight edge on the 0. We then put it on the rise, okay? One straight mark, okay? So that is going from nothing to 70 mil, or the rise. Now we connect the rise to the rise again. There we go. Now we are left with these two marks, as you can see. So I'll just tail this one out slightly more. Now, all we do, we put a timber here, connecting point A to point B, and then we put another timber on top, connecting A to C. Okay, we screw these together, and then this will give us our arch. Okay, now it doesn't look like an arch yet, but it will. So bear with me. Perfect. God, I'm brutal with my tools. No wonder they don't last. Okay, so what I've done here, I've created this template, and where these 2 points meet in this middle here, so this angle and this angle, where they both meet, you want to cut a little slot. So when you put your pencil in place, it will slide really nice. I'm going to do that again now because this is slightly off center. So where the two meet, little saw. Perfect. Now, A, B, C. This one can be removed. It's no longer needed. So we've got this. All we do now to create our arch, we put where these two timbers meet with two different angles, we put that on point A. We connect to point B, okay? Pen goes in the groove mark, okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to drag this profile while touching both of these at the same time, and it will create an arch, hopefully. Might help if I actually put the pen down. So everything's touching, keeping contact with screws. There we go. So this here is our arch. Here's the bottom of our template, and it rises 70 millimeters. Now we just do the exact same on this side. So touch here, touch there. Pen goes in the crest of where these two timbers meet. We drag, we drag, we drag. Perfect. And there we go. We have an arch template 1205, 1205. And that is how I like to do my arches. There is better ways, and I'll probably get pulled to pieces by doing it this way, but this is a really quick and simple way of making an arch profile. 595. Okay, there we go. So this 15mm I spoke about earlier, this is just to represent the bottom of the wall plate and allows me to actually put a screw into the timber. I could use this as the bottom of a wall plate, but then I wouldn't have an anchor point for my screws. Our rise is staying the same for all of these arches. Again, the rise is the bottom of wall plate or the bottom of your arch to the height of your arch. So it is 70mm in our case. If another arch was going to be 100mm, then I would have to remake another profile like this, because if we're going to bring the rise up, it's going to alter this angle here. But because all the rises are the same and only the openings are changing, we don't need to alter this profile right there. I am so sick of this weather. Like, honestly, earlier I was red hot. Right, we have all of our profiles ready to rock and roll. So we're going to head over to my mate's and get everything cut, because he's got like a plane, so we can plane over the wall plate, so it's a really nice smooth finish. I bet a couple of you are asking why I didn't use marine ply and why we're using wall plate. Well, we had wall plate here, so that's perfect, and I've just used wall plate in the past multiple times and it seems to work pretty well. Yes, right, catch you in a bit when they're all cut. Look at Drew, look at him,
Ready for the rest of the day.
ready for it. No, that's fine. Okay, sound. So yeah, right, I'll pack all this then, since I'm bricklayer, and you can do all the joinery for me, since you're a joiner, yeah? Nice one. Bad weather's coming again. So I have got half of this steel job all packed. What am I doing? Got half the steel job all packed. There we go. And then my mate, the joiner, has done this. You guessed it, raining once again. So I'm on site with my mate who's the joiner, who's making my profiles, and while he's doing that I am doing all of the beam fill and packing up the steels we put in on Monday. So it's a good trade because there's no point him laying bricks and there's no point me doing joinery, so we've just swapped. That's good. So I'm going to get the profiles made, get them dropped off at the job, and get them soaking in some clear coat just to make sure that they're more protected. And then I reckon we'll be back here for the day doing inside work. I'm so sick of this weather. Just dropped off all of the profiles and I'm just going to leave them for the customer to paint over the weekend. Saves me a job. So right now we're going to head back over to the other job while this weather is stopping us here, and we're going to continue packing up all of those steels we put on Monday to make sure that job is safe and secure. There we go, that is Friday wrapped up. Overall, it was a really good day. The weather held us back really bad on the extension Drew and I are doing. However, we was able to drop here, pack all of these steels up nicely, do a bit of brickwork, and then the lads dropped all of the walls, so we have this massive open space. Hopefully next week the weather will be a lot better, and then we'll be able to build over all the arches we made. Anyway, on that note, we will catch you next week. We're going to go have a beer. So, see you later.
Superman come out.
He's on the phone, right?
Yeah. And then he's talking.